What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the WrestleRant channel. I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well and having a great weekend so far. Not often I pop on here for a random video, but I thought I would give my first impressions of AEW Fight Forever. And yes, it is February 2024, not June 2023, when the game was initially released. Now, it feels like it's taken me as long for me to finally play the game as it did for it to come out. And that's not necessarily true, but that's what it feels like to me. This game was announced years ago, like when AEW was first announced, like soon after, too. They were like, oh yeah, we're doing a video game, and Kenny Omega's working on it, and Aubrey Edwards, and all these other sort of people. We're working with THQ, who helped put together the original WWE video games a long time ago. They don't work with THQ now, obviously. It's all 2K. But there were these memes for years, like, oh, is the game ever going to come out? And I think COVID had something to do with that as well, because obviously COVID kind of happened during the process of the game, the development of the game. And it finally came out last June to kind of a mixed reaction. And it took me a while to finally get the game, because I was going to get it originally, never really got around to it. And as you guys know, I'm a 2K guy. I like playing the 2K22, 2K23, soon to be 2K24 video games for like the GM mode, Universe mode. And even prior to the recent 2K games, I was never a video game guy, really. I mean, I've played video games in my lifetime, obviously, but I spend my time doing other stuff and not really playing video games a lot of the time. It takes me a long time to complete a fucking video game that's not like wrestling related. I'm still kind of getting through the Spider-Man game, the Star Wars games, the Jedi Fallen Order stuff from a few years ago. But anyway, it took me a while to get Fight Forever, but shout out to JC at HardyCat1027 on Twitter. She's a fucking godsend. She responded to a tweet I put out about a month ago saying, oh, I'm probably going to get the game soon and whatever, and she had no use for her copy, so she sent over hers. So no gameplay review here in the channel like I would typically do of like a video of me playing the game and talking about it that way and stuff like that, which is what I typically do with the WWE 2K games. So the thing with that, though, is that she gave me a copy for PS5, which is amazing because the quality is great, the graphics are cool, which we'll get into. I have a PS4. Alexis's brother has a PS5, so I've been able to play it on his PS5, but it's not like my username or PSN or whatever, so don't ask me for my username on PlayStation for at least Fight Forever. If you want to play with me on the fucking 2K games, then cool. On the Fight Forever game, probably not, because it's not my PS5, so it's taken me some time to kind of try it and get into it and play it and stuff like that, so, and I'm not recording gameplay on his system and then uploading it to my channel that way. It just kind of takes too long, so no gameplay of 2K, not 2K, but rather Fight Forever coming here to the channel, but I thought I would pop on here, like I said, and give my first impressions of the game. Honestly, like I said on Twitter earlier today, I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. The 2K games, it is not, obviously. I mean, the graphics are far inferior to the 2K games. Even the gameplay itself is not 2K. So if you're looking for, like, the in-depth graphics and just the nature of the game itself, this is not what that's going to be. You cannot compare the two. I know I am right now, but I'm just saying, like, you can't go into this game expecting the AEW equivalent of what the WWE games have been doing for the past 20 plus years now. I mean, WWE games have been around for fucking 25, 30 years, whatever it's been. And I kind of grew up, funnily enough, on, like, the No Mercy games, which is what this was kind of compared to. Those two games you can compare, Fight Forever and No Mercy, solely because that's what AEW compared it to. Kenny Omega and doing interviews and stuff, and I don't know if it was Tony Khan, but it was definitely referenced coming into the development of the game by Aubrey Edwards and people like that. And maybe it wasn't her specifically, but the developers of the game definitely said, oh, it's very No Mercy-esque. And what I'm talking about is the WWF No Mercy, that amazing intro for the game, that came back out in, like, what, 98, 99? A long time ago. Still one of the best wrestling video games of all time. I was into that game, and I kind of started playing that after I got into wrestling, but I was playing WCW NWO, not No Mercy, what was it? The Revenge game on the N64 before I ever even got into wrestling, like years before, because my cousin owned an N64. He had it at my grandmother's house, so anytime I went over her house, I would play that game, and I wasn't even a wrestling fan back then. And then when I did get into wrestling, I would play that game more, and then also get into the WWF game, which I tried and I fucking loved. That's got a great roster. Very basic. The graphics are nothing compared to what they are today. The entrances aren't even like full entrances like we get in this game. So it's kind of similar in that respect. Like it's the bare basics. You don't get the full entrance themes. The full entrances themselves. I was surprised it got Cult of Personality in the game. I had heard a rumor that it wouldn't be in the game. Like, Christian's music is different. Christian, and I'm all over the place here. I understand that and I apologize. and this review will be all over the place. I haven't played as every character in the game, but the Christian entrance, for example, is a different song. And I guess I understand that because it's a TNA theme, and they probably don't have clearance from them, even though they use the TNA theme on fucking AEW TV every single week. They probably didn't want to pay them to use it in the game. But they do have, I mean, it's not all of Cult of Personality, and maybe that's how they were able to get away with it. It's just like the opening 10 seconds of the song. There's not even any lyrics used for the Punk entrance in the game. And I'm glad Punk's in there, even though Punk's not in the company anymore. He was obviously, they released the game when he was still with AEW. Cody Rhodes, they made the direct decision to keep him in the game. He's been gone from AEW for over 2 years now. 2 years ago this month, he left the company. And the game came out last year. They could have very easily removed him from the game, but they decided to keep him because they thought, he's a big part of the game. He was a big part of the company and probably the development of the game and stuff like that, so they kept him in, which is cool. And you can unlock him for like $10,000 cash, and it's very easy to rack up cash in the game. There's not a lot of unlockables from what I understand. You can unlock, and I already bought all the unlockables, and I really haven't done that many matches so far. I bought Cody Rhodes for $10,000 cash. Aubrey Edwards being $20,000 over Cody Rhodes is fucking ridiculous, but you can purchase Aubrey Edwards as a playable character, not as like a ref in your match, which I guess you could do that as well. I don't know, but like you can literally play as Aubrey Edwards in the game. For anyone clamoring to play as Aubrey Edwards, you can buy her and play her. They have alternated tires for Britt Baker, I think, definitely the Young Bucks, and that might be it. So what I like about the WWE games is that you can kind of work your way through and unlock stuff along the way. I did try out the Road to the Elite mode, and obviously I just started it, so I don't really know what else it entails. I don't know if you can unlock more stuff through that. I know you can rack up cash and experience points, and that's all great, and I think that's cool. And also what I like about the game on a side note, and again, I'm all over the place, I apologize, but what I do like is that all the win-loss records in the game, when people come out, they're not going to reflect their real-life records because the game is, real life is constantly changing and it's going to be outdated and stuff. It actually updates based on, like, if you have a match, if I played as Christian Cage, which I did, and I think I beat John Moxley or something, it's going to say Christian 1-0 and Moxley 0-1, which is really cool. I don't know if it actually updates for the person you face, but it definitely does for the person you play as, which is sick. So I like that. The Road to the Elite mode, like I said, I just started getting into it. The WWE showcase modes, it is not. But it's a nice little story mode. I feel like once you conquer it, the bigger question is, like, is the game worth replaying? Once you conquer the Road to the Elite mode, does it have replay value? In a general sense, no. So to answer my question from the headline of this video, the title of this video, the game is worth getting, but it doesn't have a lot of replay value. If you're like a diehard AEW fan, you probably already have the game, and this review won't even change your mind at all. But from someone that doesn't like live or die by these games, and I just enjoy playing them for fun and from, getting content like from the 2K stuff for GM mode. GM mode is my shit. Like, I like the showcase mode in WWE 2K with Cena and Rey 2 years ago and shit, and the Mania one this year should be cool. Once you get through that stuff, like, there's really not, like, I know people that have gotten the WWE 2K games, and even they don't really care about it within a couple of months. Because, like, once you get through that stuff, and they have a lot of other modes in the 2K games, like the career mode and universe mode, like I said. Once you get through that stuff, and if you're an avid gamer, you're probably going to get through it pretty quickly. There's not a lot of replay value there. Like, I've never really played online. I don't really care about the online stuff for 2K. And I know I'm not really comparing the two. I said that I wouldn't do that, but I just want to bring this up. I have done the online stuff with 2K, and I don't know if it's my fucking internet or what. It just never really works, and it's really fucking annoying and glitchy. They do have online here for Fight Forever. And honestly, this is my favorite part of the game. And I think it's worth, honestly, I think the game is worth getting for this alone. I like the roster. They have all the big names. I'll get into that in a moment. My favorite part of Fight Forever is the Stadium Stampede mode. So when I first tried out the game a few days ago, I did a regular match to kind of get the controls down, and the controls are basic. I prefer the 2K ones probably just because I've been playing that longer, so I'm kind of used to those. But the basics, the gameplay's fine. Once you probably conquer it, master it, it's a lot easier than it is for me, who's not, I'm a novice when it comes to that stuff, let's put it that way. So the gameplay's fine, the graphics are whatever, the roster's cool. And I did Road to the Elite, and it wasn't particularly interesting, but it was, a pretty basic, fine story mode and whatnot with cool vignettes and talking heads and stuff like that. My favorite part of the game from what I tried out is the Stadium Stampede mode. And it's not even like a real wrestling thing. It honestly feels more like Fortnite. And I don't play Fortnite, but that's what Alexa said when we were playing it. I was playing it, and she was sitting right next to me. She was like, oh, this is like Fortnite. I'm like, I guess. I don't really know much about Fortnite. Because you're not in Stadium Stampede mode doing like wrestling moves to people. I mean, you are when you hit your finisher. But prior to that, you're just throwing fucking weapons at people. You're hitting people with chairs. It's like all-out chaos. It's like Anarchy in the Arena mixed with Stadium Stampede. I mean, I guess there aren't really wrestling moves in Stadium Stampede anyway in real life, whenever they've done it in the last couple of years. But it's just, it's fucking wild, man. And you're playing with people online there, I think. Unless they're just CPU and I'm just bugging here. But I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that I was playing with are real people online. Maybe not all of them, but at least some of them. And the more that you play, and the longer you survive in each Stadium Stampede match, the more experience you gain, the more money you make, you kind of level up, and you can become like, a jobber, indie jobber, and an indie mid-carder, blah, blah, blah. It was a lot of fucking fun. I actually really enjoyed that. I have seen nothing like that before in the WWE games, because the WWE games are matches and wrestling stuff. I think this is the one advantage that AEW has over the WWE games, is this Stadium Stampede. And again, I'm not shitting on this game, and I'm not shitting on those games at all. I'm just saying, if you really are thinking about, should I get this game? And if you're like me, too, that isn't an avid gamer, you're probably thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth paying $60 for? Probably not. 8 months later now, it's probably even more discounted. I saw, like I said, a month ago before I got the game for free, they were promoting it as, we're selling it half off. And it was like $30. I saw it on Amazon like a month or two ago for like $25. It's definitely worth it at that point. Even get a used copy if you want to. Maybe not everyone's high in that sort of thing. I don't really care personally as long as the game works. I think it's worth it for Stadium Stampede mode. I can get a lot of time out of that. It's the same thing a lot of the time. It's the same arena, but you can come back to different parts of the arena. Use different weapons, go up against different people, play as different people. You can play as anyone that you have unlocked in the game. So I did Sting, I did Malachi Black, and I was knocking out motherfuckers left and right. I played as CM Punk. It was fucking fun, man. I really enjoy that. Like, you're chasing after people, and you have to utilize these power-ups and the weapons, and there's a fucking horse riding around like in the 2020 Stadium Stampede with Hangman Page. That was a lot of fun, so love Stadium Stampede. The matches themselves, if I was just to go in and play matches, that would get old, and already has gotten old for me very, very quickly. I don't really care about doing regular matches unless I'm playing with someone else, and even then, it's fine. Like, the problem is I tried to simulate doing a casino battle royale, and what I like about the 2K games is that when I do GM mode and I simulate a match, and you guys know that because I do that every fucking week here on the channel, the matches can sometimes last a while, especially if it's like a tag team match, but typically like a battle royal or a singles match, it's going to be over not within 2 minutes usually, but it takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's like realistic most of the time. I simulated a casino battle royale that I was in, and I ended up getting the ace card, which we know would come out last. So I'm waiting, and I'm like, this is going to be cool. I get to come out last, and that's going to give me an advantage. No one got eliminated. I watched the match for 10 minutes, and maybe one person got chucked out. I'm thinking, I can't fucking wait for this. Like, it takes way too long for this. I don't know if that's just an AI thing or what, but it took way too long for the CPU to beat each other. Like, no one was even hitting their finisher. It's a pretty basic, easy to understand system, which I appreciate, especially for the novice in me as a gamer, obviously. But it's really not that deep, and maybe they can expand upon that in future installments if they do it. I knew they spent a lot on this game. They spent like a lot of fucking money on making this video game, and I think they needed it to be a success in order for it to be greenlit for a sequel. I don't think there's been any talk of doing a Fight Forever 2. They have their sights set on other shit right now. I think they just wanted to get this game out before people were like, all right, fuck this shit. And maybe people were already at that point last year thinking, it's been way too long, it's outdated, I don't want to get it now, the hype's gone. I mean, a lot of people were playing it when it came out last year. But within like maybe a month or two, I saw absolutely no one on my timeline talking about Fight Forever. So playing it now, It's fun. I love Stadium Stampede mode. The gameplay is fine. The graphics are fine. It's not a very deep roster at all. But the thing with the roster that I don't really have an issue with that. The WWE games have what feels like 500 fucking people in their games. And I love that. I love the variety. And I love having choices. Even though I'm never going to play as Akira Tozawa, I love having him as an option in the game. The AEW roster, male and female, like even Stadium Stampede mode, is male versus female. Same thing with the Battle Royals. Like it's not only male, like you're not always facing females. But what my point is that they don't have a very deep roster. So it's not like you can only do, in the WWE games, female-centric matches. So like if I choose Ty Conti, I don't only have to face another female on the roster. I can face Sting or Kenny Omega or the Bucks or whoever. So I like that. And I know they're doing the season passes right now with Tony Storm and all this other sort of stuff. A lot of those wrestlers are outdated now. I don't know if I would pay an extra $20 for fucking Claudio Castagnoli. It's cool that he'd be in the game, but it's like a lot of these people probably should have been there at launch. Like the DLC having to pay for, it's weird that Jeff Hardy's in the game, but not Matt Hardy. I know they want you to pay for Matt Hardy to get the Hardy's combo, but Matt Hardy was in the company 4 years ago. Why is Jeff Hardy in the game but not Matt Hardy? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because they want you to pay for it. No thanks. I'm not buying the DLC. That looks like a waste of money to me personally. The game itself I would not call a waste of money. I enjoy the game. I've had a blast with it so far. How much I'll actually play it for the next 6 months, I don't know. But I'm definitely going back in and doing more Stadium Stampede mode. So like I said earlier, don't expect any gameplay videos here on the channel, which is unfortunate. I would have wanted to get at least one up, and maybe it's possible at some point to maybe do that if I hook up my account to the system. It's definitely possible. But it's not ideal, just given I like having a certain setup with my mic, and I don't really have that with her brother's PS5. If I level up to a PS5 at some point, then I'll definitely do it. But I don't have a PS5 right now. I just have a PS4. That's probably what I'm getting the new 2K game on as well. My PS4, which I'm shocked they're even selling it for that. But hey, God bless 2K for that one. But yeah, I enjoyed Fight Forever. I would call it a good game as far as a rating score. I don't know. It's probably like a 5, maybe probably a 6. It's not a bad game. It's very basic and very has the bare bones of what you would expect out of a wrestling video game. But the thing with that though, it's not a disappointment to me, because yeah, it took fucking years to come out, but they always branded this thing as a very basic video game. They never said it would have this extensive roster. They never said it would have the best gameplay of any wrestling video game that's been released. They did say it's very easy to pick up and play, which I guess it is, although it did take me some time to kind of figure shit out, and I like to have William Regal taking you through the controls and how to pin people and how to do certain things and shit like that. And the arena looks cooler than I thought it would, that the people in the crowd look more realistic than I thought they would. The talent, renders and shit look pretty good. They don't look bad at all. It's just my biggest knock on the game is that it's not No Mercy. And nothing will ever be No Mercy, but the problem is that they were kind of, to a pretty big portion of the audience, they were saying, oh, it's like the No Mercy of modern day, and it's very much like modern No Mercy. And maybe they tried to make it like that. I don't know, man. I can still pick up No Mercy fucking 25 years later. I think anyone can, and it is the easiest game to play. The issue with the newer games, and maybe that's what people want nowadays, I don't know, is you can do all this intricate shit and have these I don't know, man. I just want a pretty basic move, kick, punch, that's it. I guess this game kind of has that, but it did still take me a while to figure out the reversals and this and that. The Nintendo shit, maybe it was just a different time, and it definitely was. It was 25 years ago. Just has that certain nostalgia to it. And not to mention that roster's insanely stacked from fucking 98, 99, whatever it was in WWE. And I've never even played a single second of the story mode in No Mercy. But I can still fucking play that game and have a blast. I don't know. I just really enjoy that game. So, No Mercy, this is not. The WWE video games, this is not. The fact it's not even comparable to the 2K games, like I said. But the bottom line is, it's definitely not No Mercy. I think that's abundantly clear, and I wish they hadn't really said that, because I had higher hopes for it in that respect. But when you take that out of the equation, on its own merit, I do think it's a good game. It's enjoyable. Does it have a lot of replay value? No. But it does definitely, for me anyway, and maybe you get bored with it quickly, I don't know. But I feel like it can be difficult and can sometimes be easy if you master it. The Stadium Stampede shit. That shit is a lot of fucking fun. I played that for like a good 30 to 60 minutes the other day. Of just random people online trying to avoid certain people, figuring out the power-ups and this and that, how do you unlock this shit. That was a lot of fucking fun. So I would recommend that, and just check it out. I mean, if you see the game available online and you don't already have it for like $25, $30, I would say get it. I mean, it's definitely not worth $60, I'll say that much. But for like $25, $30, it's definitely a good game. I like it for what it is, and it's worth checking out. Thank you guys for checking out my first impressions review of AEW Fight Forever. I appreciate it. I don't know if I'll have any more videos about the game up here on the channel, because like I said, I probably won't be doing gameplay, but anything can change. On that note, though, I will definitely be doing 2K23, 2K24 content going forward. I still do the GM mode stuff, obviously, every single week in 2K23. I don't know when I'm getting 2K24, hopefully soon, and when I do, we'll do a first impression of that video. I already do have a first impression video of that game from when I tried it out over Rumble Weekend. That's not up yet, so keep an eye out for that before the official release of the game in the next week. But like the first GM mode in 2K24, I'm looking forward to trying that out, and that will be coming very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that here on the channel if you like wrestling video game videos and that sort of shit. So have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll catch your ass down the road.